Now, I've often talked about how the best, I don't know, stewards or the best champions that women have, the most, quick ones, the quickest reactions are men. When woke, Olympic organizations, in this case, this is in Canada, uh, just allow men, biological men who were born men and were men their whole lives, want to compete in women's sports and just crush the competition. I am all for it. I'm 100% for it. Okay. Now, this is a sister site to the Publica that did some of this reporting, so I'm going to give them credit over at Redux. A trans-identified male set the Canadian women's powerlifting record at a championship in Manitoba yesterday. Annie Andrus, who previously mocked female powerlifters, lifted a total of 210 pounds more than the strongest female competitor. 210, not a power lift of 210 pounds, 210 pounds more. Now, as a percentage, I'm not exactly sure how to translate that, but it would seem to me it would be as if you were in a car race and the next closest competitor you had lapped 30 times. Just not close at all. By 210 pounds. It's hilarious, absolute insanity to me. But this is the clown world we live in. Here's the video. Now I want to show you. Now remember, the reason you know this is a woman is because they're wearing pink socks and they have blue hair. That's how you know this is a woman. Now, my take on terms of, female biological male competitors competing against biological female competitors in feats of strength has always remained that it is not right. It is wrong. They have a huge advantage. And that the best way to handle this is one of two ways. Either the trans individuals compete in the biological category that they are at birth, that their chromosomes say they are, or that these organizations create open or free categories where it's like women's, men's, and then there's like an open category where men and women can compete, and you can choose to compete in that open category, which would basically default to mostly being trans people. Wouldn't even have to be a trans in particular. It just would be like women's, men, open. But the idea that they would compete in feats of strength, speed, or anything like that against biological men or biological women is absurd.
This will be a national record.
What's sad about this is you hear all these women cheering this biological man on. And it makes a lot of people get kind of black-pilled on this and think, well, you know what? They deserve this. And I think that I understand why people feel that way. £556.7. The above tweet erroneously tweets that Andreas lifted only a total of 210 pounds, more than the strongest competitor. This is incorrect. Andreas' total powerlifting score was in fact 210 kilograms more than the strongest female competitor, or 463 pounds. 463 pounds more than the closest female competitor. Of course, we remember Zuby did this back in 2019. But the only way I believe that you can defeat this insanity is with more insanity. There's that, when you can explain things using absurdity. There should be 100 powerlifting men professionals signing up for every one of these events, every one of them, and taking every single world record away from women. 20, 30 men showing up at minimum every single time, men powerlifters who take the top 20 out of 20 spots. That is the only way you defeat this. That's the only way you defeat this. You need 20 brave male individuals to identify as women and simply destroy these events. That's the only way. And sorry, ladies, but it's true. Riley Gaines slams Justin Trudeau after trans powerlifter sets unofficial women's world record. By the way, a 40-year-old. Riley Gaines, an advocate for women's sports, called out Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau after a trans woman set the national and unofficial world record in powerlifting on Sunday. And Annie Andrus, a 40-year-old biological male who identifies as a woman who currently holds multiple powerlifting records in the female division, was competing at the Canadian Powerlifting Union's 2023 Western Canadian Championship on Sunday in the female masters unequipped category. I'd say he was equipped, where she blew out her opponents. I like how Fox still uses her, she, her pronouns. The total weightlift, squat, bench, and deadlift resulted in a final score of 597.5 kilograms, which was over 200 kilograms more than her closest opponent, Sujan Gill, who finished with 387.5 kilograms. With that total, Andrea set a new Canadian women's national record at the championship, while also being unofficial women's world record. In response, Gaines took to social media to blast Trudeau's policies, which allow the Canadian Powerlifting Union to have gender self-identified trans inclusion policy announced earlier this year that allows males to participate in women's competitions based on gender alone. This is what she said.
Breaking news. There is a new Canadian national record holder in women's powerlifting. The only problem is it wasn't set by a woman. Trans-identified Anne Andres competed at the 2023 Western Canadian Championships yesterday. According to results, Andres' total powerlifting score was over 210 pounds more than the top-performing female in the same class.
Kilograms.
As if his domination competing against the women wasn't enough, watch as he mocks female powerlifters.
Why is women's bench so bad? I mean, not compared to me. We all know that I'm a tranny freak, so that doesn't count. I know we're not talking about Mackenzie Lee. She's got little T-Rex arms, and she's like 400 pounds of chest muscle, apparently. I mean, standard bench in powerlifting competition for women, I literally don't understand why it's so bad.
Let's rephrase that. Women's bench might be bad to you because you are a male who's gone through male puberty with a male amount of testosterone. Being a woman or a female athlete doesn't mean we're inferior or not capable of accomplishing incredible things, but it means we're different to men. And that's exactly why the women's sporting category was ever even created. And we deserve to be recognized and celebrated based off of those physical ceilings and our own uniqueness.
I still think, by the way, again, the only way to defeat this is with absurdity. More men need to compete in women's categories. It needs to not even be close. There needs to be more men showing up than women showing up. And that's what, essentially the only way that you're going to get this, that's the only way you're going to get this out of the system. Defeating them by 400 pounds. This isn't the first time, by the way. You have Olympics' first openly trans biological male woman, Laurel Hubbard, a 43-year-old weightlifter. Why are all these people so old, too? You know, like, why are they? I mean, this person isn't even in shape. They have the same body build as me. I guess I could be a Olympian. Bearded man smashes women's weightlifting record held by translifter. I mean, it's so wild to me that, again, people just stand and cheer for this. They think it's stunning and brave or something. It's not. I mean, it's ridiculous. But until men, it's up to men to save women's sports, at least in my opinion. I'll be interested in seeing what all of your comments are about this, of course.